Georgia's just weeks away from two key runoff elections that will determine control of the U.S. Senate, and immigration will play a role in those results. President-elect Biden won Georgia by only 11,779 votes, and communities of color were key to his win. As Georgia Democrats are hoping to count on Latino voters who helped tilt the state blue in November, the Senate races are equally tight. Let's bring in someone who's working on the ground in Georgia, D.A. King, founder of the Dustin Inman Society. D.A., thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I'm very grateful.
So, how does immigration factor into what will be two of the most important Senate races in recent memory?
Immigration, especially illegal immigration, is a huge issue here in Georgia. Not many people around the country, from our experience, realize that Georgia is home to more illegal aliens than green card holders. DHS says we rank number 7 in the nation of states with an illegal population. We have more illegal aliens than green card holders and more than Arizona. So a lot of conservative voters consider it a huge issue, if not the issue. We're hopeful that our Republican candidates in the runoff will expand their discussion on the topic.
Now, just to clarify, you're talking about illegal aliens in the state of Georgia. It's not legal for them to vote. Are you just concerned that they are voting, or that the illegal population in Georgia, because of family and kinship ties, is pushing the vote more Democratic because people are going to want to vote for whichever party is more favorable to the status of illegals?
Well, yes, but I was trying to illustrate why it is such an important issue. But if you extrapolate from what I just said, we just had elections in my home county here in Metro Atlanta, in Cobb County, and in Gwinnett County. In Gwinnett County, across the Metro Atlanta area, nearly 8% of that population is illegal. What we have learned when these sheriffs who were doing 287G were defeated is that many of the votes came from first-time young voters recruited by the corporate-funded illegal alien lobby. And we have proven here in Georgia that children who are U.S. born to illegal aliens do not vote for conservative pro-enforcement candidates. So we're very worried about how the radicalized lawful voters are going to vote.
And what could be done? I mean, one of the big issues, one of the big focuses going into these Georgia runoffs has to do with trying to ensure election integrity. And there, just based on the polling, you can see a lot of people do not feel like there was enough election integrity on November 3rd. So what can be done, or let me start with this, is enough being done in Georgia, and what should be done?
I don't want to speak outside my area of expertise. I'm not an expert on voting, but the way we see it here is that there's not really a question anymore about whether or not there is a huge hole in voting integrity, not only across the nation, but here in Georgia. The question is how big is that hole, and how serious is the lack of integrity? We find that people cast illegal ballots, which is not denied by anybody. We hear stories 2 days after the election that, here's 59 ballots that we found in a drawer. So increasing the integrity of the elections can be done easily with time. I don't know that there'll be any meaningful changes between now and the runoff on January 5th.
And tell me this, what kind of percentages, just in general, for the Latino vote, and I'm not speaking now about anything having to do with illegal immigrants in the state of Georgia, but the Latino vote in general, is what percentage of the vote in Georgia, and how did Donald Trump do with them on November 3rd? Because Trump obviously did well across the country with Latinos.
The figures that I'm seeing are a point or two above 30%, and I don't know that they're final yet. What we know, I am the proud president of a nonprofit called the Dustin Inman Society, and we are pro-enforcement on immigration. Our enemies are corporate-funded lobbyists who are anti-enforcement on immigration. What we have found is that, for example, the Latinos on our board of advisors are very pro-enforcement. Most of the people who come here who immigrate from socialist countries My pleasure. Thank you.
That's it for this special edition of Hold the Line.